Guys, welcome to the stream. We're starting in 4 minutes. We have a special guest today. Looking forward to doing some guided meditation and teaching about psychology tips. We'll be doing a $50,000 giveaway at the end of the stream. Make sure you have your questions prepared regarding mindset, trading psychology, and any other issues you may have with mindfulness. Share the stream around. Tune in 3.5 minutes. Starting in 1 minute, guys. Get your questions ready. Share this around with your friends. Get as many people in here as you can. It's going to be a good one. All right, guys, welcome. We have Maven Live once again. A special guest today. Louise is joining us. She is an expert in trading psychology, mindfulness, and self-sabotage. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a guided meditation at the end of the stream. And we're going to be talking about self-sabotage and how you can fix some of your issues going on in your head there that might be causing any problems with your trading. You might already have a great strategy down, but when it comes down to live testing and putting the real money behind your ideas, we're having issues, guys. We do a $50,000 account giveaway at the end there. Emma gets to pick who the winner is every single time, so get your questions ready. She likes to pick people with the best questions that are regarding the topic, so make sure it has something to do with psychology and mindfulness. Ryan here as well. He is our expert in the traditional markets, a little bit of a finance connoisseur here. Guys, thanks for joining us. Make sure you share this around. Let's jump into market analysis. All right. Okay, we got that on the screen there. Guys, there's a big debate going on here. Bitcoin going up or down. Ryan has been arguing with me nonstop for the past few weeks, and I've been arguing straight back to him. I'll give you my point of view here first. And I think we've just closed that past month a little bit failing to gain this new level. I would have switched to a bull if we had gained that. We're now pushing back down. This weekly candle closed back within that range, and we're retesting these sort of levels here, right? Guys, this is not a super confident position that I have on the downside. The dailies, if we scroll down even deeper, we're seeing retests of these. I think some people call them breaker blocks or order blocks, something along those lines. And it does look like we're coming back down and retesting that area. Now, again, people might be saying, hey, we do have a really strong movement to the upside here on the weekly. So this is just a retest of the zones. And that could be correct as well. That's probably what Ryan's looking at. Ryan is looking at really high orders here. Ryan, isn't that right? What were you saying you wanted to see? 80K, was that right?
I think we ended the month at 72. I think we test the all-time high.
Yeah.
This month at some point.
And that's perfectly viable somewhere around here as well. I think both are an option. I'm personally waiting it out until after the elections. Hopefully, on my opinion, we'll get the exact opposite and we'll go 42. You go 72, I'll go 42, and we'll place our bets and see who was right there. Guys, that's enough for Bitcoin. Let me scroll this over so I can see a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Let's look at the S&P. S&P, beautiful as always, right? We're testing those previous highs. No super strong indications to be out of the S&P market. The NASDAQ, however, a little bit weaker sort of deal here. We're not near those all-time highs yet. There is showing some resistance off of those levels. Of course, on the monthly, we've seen a retest of that level there. NASDAQ looking perfectly fine to be holding as well. Dow Jones, strong as can be. Gold, strong as can be, just like always. Let's look at one more crypto. Ethereum gives us another little bit of a guide here. Ethereum is not looking good, guys. I was holding Ethereum for a long time here, but the reality is the fact that Bitcoin is showing a little bit of weakness means Ethereum is going to be showing a ton of weakness, guys. If you're looking at altcoins, you're probably down bad. If you do want to be in crypto, Bitcoin is the only one to be holding currently until we start seeing some new highs there. Guys, let's close out of that. If you have any questions about how to trade, you can post them below in the comment section below. Now, guys, we have a question here already. Do we think that we need to increase the leverage on crypto as it is trading more sideways? Now, guys, that is a risky deal to start increasing your bets just because something's not happening, right? What happens when something does happen? Right? You're going to blow your account, you're going to feel bad, and you're going to regret everything that you just did. So best thing to do is wait, be patient. And if you do want, move to different markets that are actually doing something. NASDAQ has been moving beautifully, right? Why are you in Bitcoin when it's doing nothing? Okay, guys, that's my advice here. Somebody was asking right before the stream started, what was it? Can we do self-sabotage? And I think that is the segue. Louise, give us a little briefing on what is self-sabotage.
Well, self-sabotage in trading is, firstly, it's very common. Many traders, especially in the beginning, they self-sabotage, or they call it self-sabotage. So there are different reasons why a trader will self-sabotage, but it generally stems from fear. Because what happens is when a trader feels fear and that primitive brain is coming in, there's a perceived threat. So what happens is instead of traders trading logically, they start to trade irrationally. And this, when we trade irrationally and we're kind of like, or emotionally, all logic goes out of the window. And so this can cause a cycle of self-sabotaging patterns. Now, logically, most traders know, if not all traders know, they have a good strategy, they know exactly what to do. But when the emotions take over, causes self-sabotaging behavior. So fear is the main cause of self-sabotaging behavior.
Okay, lovely. So then I'm not sure if I should be switching back and forth for each speaker. Maybe not. Like that might be too much, right? It might get too annoying to the eyes. So what I'm hearing is self-sabotage. The problems that it's going to cause is overtrading and making poor decisions. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So
Yeah.
what might be some early signs to be aware of in specifically the trading environment that you could take note of if you are being sabotaging?
Yes. So the best signals is physical symptoms or physical, signals. So basically what happens is when that primitive dinosaur brain comes in and we feel fear and a perceived threat, it's a very physical feeling. So what happens is like the heart will race, our hands will become clammy. We just feel kind of like we're losing focus. This is a sign that we're generally, as traders, we're feeling fear. And that is a time to be really aware of. Can I continue? But there's many different ways and techniques to help to kind of, reduce this and to manage it better, which we can talk about.
Great. Okay. So do you want to discuss at all how it actually works in the brain? I know I'm not too much of an expert here, but I know there's different areas of the brain. There's the amygdala and there's the midbrain and all this jazz. And I'm just saying catchphrases that I don't actually know what they're doing. But there's the frontal lobe, right? And that is where your logical brain is. So how we start noticing that we're back in our caveman brain and we're feeling these fear emotions, how do we start pushing ourselves back into that logical brain so that we can start being analytical again?
Well, I would say the best way is breath work, because what will happen is we can't turn this off. It's who we are. It's in our human existence. It is the amygdala. But what we can do is traders can learn ways to manage this. And the fastest way that I have known that can really help traders is breath work. Because when we're in that heightened state of stress and anxiety and perceived threat, the first thing that will bring us from that space and that state to calm just within 30 to 60 seconds is by using breath. Because what happens is when we feel like that, we kind of like our heart's racing. And so come back to your breath. It will anchor you every time. That is my number one suggestion for every trader.
Okay. So what exactly do we do with breath work? Let's say I'm brand new. You don't have to walk through it, but give us a quick little guide of what we would do in a scenario where my hands are clammy. I'm seeing a trade, it's going against me, and I'm panicking and I'm worried, right? And I can already feel the sweat forming on my hands right now, even thinking about the stress I could be having.
Perfect. Okay. So there's so many different breathwork techniques, but the best thing is have 2 feet flat on the floor because it grounds you. And the best way is if a trader is focusing on the screens, my suggestion would be is to kind of break the state and move away if possible, just even for 60 seconds. But you simply focus on your breath. So you can close your eyes or you can keep them open, focused on one spot in the room. And then what you will do is the best way to do the breath work is to breathe through your nostrils. So when I teach my clients breath work, I do either the 3 to 5 or the 7-11. I call it 7-11 technique. So basically you would count from 7 in through your nostrils for the count of 7, hold for the count of 1. And then what you would do is you would exhale through your mouth for the count of 11. Now, what's important with breathwork techniques is that you exhale for longer than you inhale. And even just within 10 seconds, you start to notice a difference. You'll start to notice that your nervous system's calming down, your body's relaxing, you're feeling more focused, more in control. It is the best technique for traders.
Okay, great. So now I have another question here. Now that's all well and good if you have kind of this, sort of Zen lifestyle and you're able to do the breath work. Now, what if you're, a big gym rat like Ryan here, right? We got big Ryan here, right? And he just wants to go to the gym and kind of pump out some iron. Is there any techniques that you might advise to a more, manly sort of environment that's, maybe we don't want to sit here and just calm ourselves. Is there any sort of masculine versions of this, or is it all just wacky?
Well, to be honest, I think what Ryan does is great. Exercising, punch bag punching, exercising. I mean, that's all really good. It's good because it releases the stress, and it helps with endorphins as well. So, I mean, I'm a huge advocate of going to the gym and exercise.
Okay,
it's another way to de-stress as well.
Okay, Ryan, like how I just kind of threw a little job at you there.
I love it. And while you were doing that, I was doing my breath work to calm myself down.
Perfect. Was it?
But it was working too, actually. So
yeah. So you didn't beat me up later, hey?
I'm kidding.
Okay, so breath work, all well and good. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper into self-sabotage. What can we do aside from breath work, I suppose, if we've already self-sabotaged ourselves, we've already started making mistakes, how can we recover from a big, it's a lot easier to look at it in the past and say, hey, shoot, I just messed up and I just caused all these problems. What should I do to recover and fix that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is self-awareness, and to find out for each individual trader, what are your triggers? So the biggest trigger is losses. I know so many traders, too many traders, who as soon as there is a loss or a series of losses, they go on tilt. Or, as humans, we don't like losing. And we certainly don't like losing money. It's not what we like. But we almost have to reframe our mindset, or traders do, to just learn to accept losses and know that it's like business. In business, there's business costs. In trading, there's losses. And it really is learning to accept and not resist the losses, and knowing that overall, by following your process, detaching from the outcome and sticking to your plan, you got a good strategy, you're going to be in a good position every month. So I think really it is firstly about finding out the root cause and causes as what these triggers are, which is causing the self-sabotaging behavior.
Lovely. Okay, so guys, hopefully you've been following along. So far, we've learned breath work when we are in that clammy caveman sort of mind, and we're panicking, right? We do some breath work, we relax, and we walk away from the screens for a minute and get into a mindful state. Okay. And we have, and I have another question here for you. So what can we do to sort of start finding those triggers that you just discussed? Is the second thing that we were discussing is, kind of fixing our triggers and all these losses, right? What can we do in an outside state that isn't while we're in front of the screens, that's going to help us find these triggers that we can start, preemptively? We've learned what to do in the current, we've learned what to do after the fact, and what can we do preemptively now to sort of manage our risk and stress? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I think so. What you're saying is basically, outside of trading, what can traders do to identify the root causes?
Exactly. Thank you for using better words than I can use.
So I think, journaling, I'm a huge advocate of journaling. And I say to traders, they say, oh, why should I journal? And it's like, because it is going to give you knowledge. It's going to give you more data. It's going to give you more information. You can deep dive. If you're not aware, if a trader's not aware of what's going on, how are they going to fix the problem? So I think the best way is journaling, doing some kind of meditation. The best answers come to us when our kind of chimp mind, if you like, is more silent. Yes. So when we've got that kind of silence, it's almost like the intuition can come in and the best answers.
Guys, I think that is super, super well broken down. We have the bottom line here. I'll break it down for you. We have the before the fact. Louise was saying we should be journaling when our mind is calm and we're able to use that analytical mind properly. Then in the fact, when we're just noticing that we're starting to feel the heart race, the clammy hands, the fear, the always watching the screen, what we can do is we can sit there, feet flat on the floor, and we start doing our breath work, start doing the 7-11 method as she described it. And you guys can look deeper into that if you're curious. And then in the after the fact, we can start looking back to see, hey, I made this mistake because of these losses. And that's when we can start analyzing and jumping all the way back to the original and start journaling. That's a lovely breakdown, I think, for everyone there to take home with them at the end of the day here. So let's dive into a couple questions before we do some nice guided meditation that will hopefully help you calm down going to the trading market today. Emma.
We have so many questions right now. I am really sorry, guys, if I missed your question. But I've got like 12 written down already. So I'm going to just start with this one because this one just popped up and we were just talking about journaling. So they were wondering how they use journaling to pinpoint the root causes of what is causing their emotional distress.
So it's what I call it deep diving or effective questioning. So what I would do is if I went back to journaling as a trader and I didn't, do hypnosis and meditation, I would start with questions. So the first question I would ask myself is, what are my weaknesses? What are my strengths as a trader? What causes me to go on tilt generally? Is it losses, market conditions? And really start to dig in. Also, I think one of the most important things, the questions that a trader can ask is, what is my relationship like to money? Because if there is a limiting belief around money, it's going to show up in trading. So I think, what's my relationship like to money, to success? Do I believe that I can be a successful trader? So really just start with the basics and just not have joy with it, but really just let it free flow is what I would say.
Okay. So another one someone was asking about overconfidence. If overconfidence can also lead to self-sabotage rather than just, thinking ill of oneself.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah. I work with traders on all different levels, traders who are just starting out to traders who earn 7-8 figures a year. And what I found is that when a series of wins come in, or a really good run, when that overconfidence comes in, it can actually be worse sometimes than the fear. So it's almost like finding a balance between being overconfident and the fear. It's a fine line, but it can be achieved.
Something a couple other people have brought up is the fact that they feel like they have past trauma from trading, either from losses or being in a good spot and then ultimately losing out. Is there a good way for them to just overcome this? Is this once again where meditation comes into play?
Yeah, I think it's a very common thing for traders, and it's very important as well, because what we do is we really can hold on to the past, and especially traders, it will define how they trade in the present and the future. So I think it's really, one of the words is forgiveness, and also seeing those kind of times and setbacks as lessons and blessings. Like, what can I learn from that? How can I move forward? How can I improve? So it's reframing. It's reframing and saying it happened, acceptance, forgiveness, and then reframing going forward. How can I improve on this? How can it change?
Someone else was also mentioning that FOMO kind of ends up being one of their root causes of why they either overtrade or make decisions that they do. They were wondering if there's certain practices that they should do to try to overcome FOMO.
Yeah. I think it is probably the biggest one, FOMO, but I think it's about having boundaries. It's about you've got to have that discipline, because so many traders, the two main reasons why traders trade is freedom of time and financial freedom. And most traders that I initially speak to, they're on their phones or their charts all day. And it's like, it doesn't have to be like this. So I think it's really about having a schedule of the time where you're going to look at the markets, you're going to trade, and stick into that. Even if, there's technology as well that can kind of cut off the trading hours. So
yeah, guys, that's a really, really good piece of advice there to stop over trading. You guys make sure you listen to that one. Is keep a schedule so you only trade during a certain block. Otherwise, you're going to be making mistakes and you're going to be trading during rollover. and you're going to get hit by those spreads, which we see all the time, guys, all the time. I hate to see it when people get hit by the spreads widening.
Yeah. And before we jump into the guided meditation, there were a couple specific meditation questions that would probably lead us in well. Someone was asking how often they should do meditation, how long they should do it, and if there's optimal times during the day to.
Yes. So my suggestion is the best time is the morning or when you wake up, because when we wake up, every part of the day is important, but it sets you up for the day. So meditation will, even 10 minutes of daily meditation, whether it's guided or you kind of just do like a focused meditation, will completely set you up for the day. The most successful traders that I work with, and I know, they meditate. And the most peaceful traders as well. So highly recommend it.
What about, I have a question. What about incorporating, I've actually wanted to do this, but I haven't, yoga, something like that. Would that be a beneficial thing like the gym or meditation?
I mean, to be honest, yoga is a form of meditation itself, because yoga is very much about the breath. It's about being in the body. It's about having that heightened state of focus. So, I mean, yoga in itself is a form of meditation, which I highly recommend as well. I mean, I practice yoga pretty regularly. So,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to branch off of that topic a little bit more for Ryan, I know Ryan and I, we were also talking about fasting, and Louise and I were talking about fasting before. And this was kind of something that we were discussing might help your brain as well. What are some other activities that you could do outside of trading that help increase your ability to think properly and be in that logical brain? That might be, fasting, meditation. Are there any others?
You've got to look after your body. Trading, obviously, there's so many traders that are passionate. They love trading, but what has to come first is your health and your well-being and your happiness. It has to be priority. And I always say to traders, do something outside of trading that brings you joy. Whether it's like Ryan, the gym, for me, I love the gym as well. I love paddleboarding. But so it's important to look after the body as well. If I'm being honest, if a trader has a really bad diet, it's about peak performance, isn't it? They've got to look at their diet. They've got to look about, what they're eating, what they're feeding their mind as well, which is really important. Peak performance. So
I think Hunter and I have been talking about the diet part of that, and it's dramatically amazing how different you actually feel cognitively, physically, and so on when you put good, healthy, nutrient-dense food in your body versus processed food or fast food. It's very noticeable, interestingly enough, and it becomes noticeable relatively quickly as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's day and night, and, traders have to be at the top of their game. They have to be peak performance, because we know that it can be very fast-paced markets and so forth, and decisions need to be quick. One of the things that I also suggest and recommend is make sure you're hydrated, because if a trader's dehydrated, it's not going to be great cognitive function.
Okay.
All right, Emma, are there any more questions that we wanted to finish off on? A good banger one and before we wrap up?
Yeah, there is one last one that I think is actually a really good question before we get into the guided meditation. As we know, there's a lot of different guidelines on how to make something a habit, like how many days you have to do it, how long you have to do it before you start seeing results and making it a habit. With meditation, how long do you feel it usually takes before a trader starts seeing a more positive impact and kind of manages to integrate it into a proper routine in their lives?
I think it's an individual journey. Mm-hmm. It's a journey. It can be a very spiritual journey. And I think everybody's different, but, I know some people that can get straight into meditation where they feel like they've been doing it years. What is important is finding the right type of meditation. So whether it's kind of a guided meditation or a breathwork meditation, it's what feels right to the individual. But, as I said before, I think in the previous live stream, that it takes 21 days to create and break habits. And it's pretty much to the day for most people.
Yeah. Okay. And so, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here, and then we're going to do a guided meditation. Now, Emma is going to pick a winner of a $50,000 account giveaway based off of the questions that were provided on stream here. She's going to be doing that. How, Emma? You're going to be picking how?
I will be tagging them in the chat below, and you have to go over to our Discord to claim it. I will also be popping our Discord link in the chat. So just go on over there and open a ticket, and our team will set you up.
And specifically, that is the Maven YouTube chat, because we are live on Kick, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube on all of those.
We're live all over the place today.
All over the place and on multiple accounts every single Tuesday, 4:30 UTC, guys. We have a different topic every single time. I'd like to thank Louise for coming on here and giving us a breakdown. Absolutely lovely. She basically described how, as a trader, is the most difficult job in the world. You need to be an athlete. You need to be a yogi. You need to have perfect health and then use your brain properly here. And that psychology tips that she just broke down for us helps us get to that perfect balanced lifestyle so that we can be an effective human and an effective trader in that. Guys, thanks for watching. Tune in next time. We're going to finish it off here with a guided meditation that's going to be completely guided by Louise here. So take us off.
Thank you. So I do have to do a disclaimer. I'm sure there's not many people driving or operating machinery, but if there is, please, it's advised not to be doing either. So, okay. So if everybody's ready, and what I would like you to do is find a comfortable position. And I want you now to either close your eyes or you can focus on one spot in the room. And all you need to do is just listen to the sound of my voice. Because the sound of my voice is going to guide you to a place of calm, a place of serenity and security. It's almost as if I am telling you a story. And as I guide you to this place of calm and peace within yourself, I am going to start to relax the muscles in your body. You'll start to feel your muscles beginning to soften, to relax. Your nervous system will calm down and you'll feel a sense of peace. Your mind and your thoughts will just relax. And remember, you are in a safe, relaxing space. So I want you now to feel the muscles from the very top of your head relaxing, softening, soothing, down to the muscles around your face, your arms, hands, and fingers. Feel those muscles relaxing now. And as the outside world gently fades into the distance, you'll become grounded and centered in your energy, more at peace and abundant. So you feel now the flow of relaxation flowing down to the very soles of your feet, down to your legs, feet, and toes. Now, as your body relaxes during this time, I am going to take you on a journey into an ancient forest, a forest that brings you joy, peace, and harmony. And it's also a place where you can let go and release all that needs to be released. Every fear, every doubt, every part of stress and tension will be released. So I want you now to imagine in this forest, there are rich, vibrant colors. Colors of greens, oranges, browns, and even gold. And this is a special place for you because it's a place where not only can you let go of all that's not needed, but you can start to create a new reality. A place that brings you happiness, success, joy, and abundance. And relax now. Breathe deeply and relax. And as you just enjoy this time in the ancient forest, feeling this calm within your body, your mind, and your energy, you relax now. And as you do, you hear the sound of nature all around you. The birds in the trees, the wind rustling gently in the leaves. And just know now and be reassured that you can come back to this place of tranquility anytime you wish. A place that brings you peace and calm. You have the access to this place. And so you may find your mind gently drifting in and out, and that's okay. But remember, you have the power to change anything in your life. So as you gently now feel a sense of security, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And these feelings are going to stay with you in a harmonious way. And you'll find that you all have a sense of peace and energy throughout today. So ready. 1, 2, coming back now. 3, 4, coming back in the room. 5, open your eyes and you're all back in the room. And breathe deeply. I was almost there with you in the forest.
Awesome. Thank you, Louise. That was beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
hope everyone feels much more relaxed and calm after a stressful trading day. Guys, every single Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. UTC. I'll see you guys next week.